Now, here's the MLBbro TV show, the best from MLBbro.com with Rob Parker. Let's go.
Sponsored by Hidden Soul. For the most exclusive kicks on the planet, go to hiddensoul.com. Welcome to the weekend. There were so many great stories on MLBbro.com this past week. In case you missed some, we'll take a look back. Let's start here. On First to Third, Rachel Hill discusses Cedric Mullins' battle with Crohn's disease.
Cedric Mullins is an amazing baseball story. And 2 years after he was sent down to AA, he lit the baseball world on fire in 2021. Check this out. He had a phenomenal year last year and garnered plenty of accolades, including being the AL starting center fielder in the All-Star game. He became the first player in Orioles history to record 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases. In the same season, he also earned the Most Valuable Oriole honors and a Silver Slugger Award, and he also finished 10th in the AL Most Valuable Player voting. Now, what made these feats so remarkable was he did all this while battling Crohn's disease. What is Crohn's disease? It is an inflammatory bowel disease that affects the lining of the digestive tract, which could cause an increased risk of colorectal cancer. In November 2020, he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease after having 10 to 15 centimeters of intestine surgically removed. In the wake of the procedure, he had an infection that needed to be drained, and he lost 20 pounds in the process, and he still came out in full. He is a physical embodiment and face of toughness, perseverance, and grit. First baseman Josh Bell was this week's homeboy, hitting in 9 out of the first 10 games for the Nationals. Man, is he swinging a hot bat. He's hit in 6 of his last 7 games. On Sunday in Pittsburgh, Bell went 2 for 4 with a walk. He now has 5 hits in his last 11 at-bats, batting .455. On the season, Bell has hit in 9 of the Nationals' first 10 games. He's batting .333 with 2 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 9 runs scored. Bell has hit in 6 of his last 7 games. He's batting .370 with 10 hits in 27 at-bats. That's why Josh Bell is this week's homeboy. David Grubb tackles the hype over pitching sensation Hunter Green. Is it foul or is it fair?
We're just 2 starts into his major league career, but we need to talk about Hunter Green. Green has been hyped up since he first appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated while throwing up triple digits for Notre Dame High School as a 17-year-old back in 2017. He's one of the favorites to win the National League's Rookie of the Year award and has been compared to some of the great young flamethrowers in baseball history with his high-end fastball and pinpoint control. He has the tools and the talent. He just needs the time. Hunter Green is up next. The hype is fair.
On Debatable with Mark and Manny, they debate whether or not Jackie Robinson would be proud of Major League Baseball in 2022.
I think it is playing out. Obviously, the numbers aren't where we want it to be or where we think they should be compared to other sports, but I still think his legacy still lives on, and it's a time-honored legacy nonetheless.
It's a legacy that does in fact live on, but it lives on in players from other than the United States who are of color. It's great because you can have a Shohei Ohtani that comes from Asia and is arguably the biggest star in the game. It's great that you can have, the Dominican superstars like Vlad Guerrero, Fernando Tatis, and the like. But when you start talking about the Black American baseball players, oh, hell no. It's just not working like that. I mean, 1 percentage point in movement demographically in 75 years, come on, man.
And finally, don't forget to check out High and Outside, the Facebook Live show with Malik Wright and Dante Miles every Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Clayton Kershaw was dealing against the Colorado Rockies last Wednesday, gets pulled out of a no-hitter after 7 perfect innings. After, Trey Turner, was it Gavin Lux made he made his defensive play, the play that you make that
usually saves a no-hitter, yeah.
He made that type of play. What do you feel about, I have my own opinion. What's your opinion on Roberts taking him out?
I mean, I get it because of Kershaw's injury history. Like, this is a guy that you want at the end of the season. You know that whole bad Kershaw is kind of, you've gotten rid of that that whole stigma. And this is a guy that you really rock with come postseason. So if I'm Dave Roberts, when you have a shortened spring training, your pitchers haven't been able to ramp up like they normally do. That's why you see a lot of guys going 5-6 innings. I understand it's great that he was 7 innings into a perfect game, and we haven't had many perfect games. But at the end of the day, you got to, you have World Series ambitions, and that's what Dave Roberts is all about right now. So I think he made the right move. It's not going to be popular with fans. And, a lot of old school guys. I saw Fergie Jenkins, who was actually, Black Aces. Shout out to Fergie Jenkins, one of the few old heads who's actually very active on social media. But he was on Twitter, and he said they would have to cut my arm off before I came out of that game. So, Fergie wasn't feeling it. But at the same time, like in today's game, the way they handle pitching staffs, I understand why Dave did it.
That's our show for this week. I'm Rob Parker. We'll see you again next weekend. And all week long, check in on MLBbro.com for the best coverage of Black and Brown Major League.